Alongside Brian Hayes and Bruce Boudreau, Matthews is the Leafs' most valuable player and the highest paid player. Hayes, who's the next most valuable Maple Leaf, Nylander or Marner?
I think it's William Nylander. I think he's finally caught him. It took him about 8.5 years, but I've established that at this point, Gino, that I think William Nylander just brings a little bit more value. They're both spectacular players. I think if you're talking about the pyramid of all the great players in the league right now, they'd be in the same level, same category. They're both great players. But why I think tie goes to William Nylander is because scoring is the most difficult thing you can do. It's the most important thing. And you talk value, come playoff time, that's what needs to happen. This team has not scored enough big goals. And I think William Nylander is wired to do that. He's also proven that he can put up numbers without the best players, right? A lot of times throughout his career here, Bruce, he's played with Austin Matthews or he's played with John Tavares. But there have been nights this year he's had Pontus Holmberg as his centerman, and it does not affect him whatsoever. He might win the Rocket this year. So Marner's great, probably on the same level. But as of today, if I'm talking value, Bruce, I think William Nylander falls in at number 2.
Well, you know, that question is like asking me, what do I like better, ice cream or chocolate? And it's really tough. But you know what? I know you said Nylander. I'm going to take Marner for one reason, and that he can do more. Like, I mean, he's the first one over the boards on the penalty kill. He's the first one over empty net. He plays the point on the power play, can play any position on the power play, and he's the best passer in the league. Maybe Quinn Hughes might give him a little bit of a fight there, but this is what, and you know what, since I got into the league as a coach, Marner's always been the one that's impressed me more. He's always been the one that I worry about more. Yeah, Nylander has come along, and this year he could fight for the Rocket, but I want Mitch Marner in tight situations because I know he'll get the job done. He won't leave the zone early. He won't cheat on the play. He will be the guy that stays there and helps the Leafs win this year.
In Marner's last contract, he signed for 13.37% of the cap. With the salary cap going up, if he signs for that exact same percentage, his salary would be $12.7 million a year, well past what Nylander signed for. Hayes, should the Leafs be okay with the number if it climbs that high or higher?
No, I don't think they should be, but I think they will be. History would tell us that that's likely what's going to happen, Gino. But I would argue 2 wrongs don't make a right. Again, I'm not here bashing Mitch Marner. He's a phenomenal player. He's one of the 20 best players in the world. He's had a great season. He got paid $10.9 million per back in his last deal. You mentioned those percentages back when he signed it. The Leafs never should have given him that. It was an overpayment at that point. So using that as the barometer for the next deal and presuming now that he could be a free agent and now that he's better and maybe even more important to the team, he's going to get a significant raise, I think the Leafs have to go back to the original contract and say, we've been overpaying you for 6 years, so we have to rectify this a little bit. He cannot get a penny more than Austin Matthews. And I know that's not what you're arguing at this point. And that's from a Leaf perspective. But for me, like I've been saying here, I think he is in the same range as William Nylander, and it's not like Nylander signed 3 or 4 years ago. He's in year 1 of this deal. So that much higher in terms of actual cap dollars, Bruce, for Mitch Marner compared to William Nylander, I don't think that suits the way these two guys match up. I think they're very close.
I mean, I think you're a pretty sharp guy, Brian, but I would think you give him up to that point. I wouldn't care less if I was to go to the management and say, hey, you know what? I know I got overpaid last time, so I'll take a haircut. I'm going, no. The cap is going up every year. In 2 years, you'll have a guy that's making $7 million now that's going to make $13 million in that time. You take. If I'm Mitch Marner, take what you can get, man. And if I'm one of the players, if I'm Austin Matthews, William Nylander, anybody else, I'm saying just sign him because I want to win, and I don't care how much he makes. I think I'm going to be well off enough, and I don't care when we go out. He's not picking up all the bills, I'll tell you that. I'm still paying my share of the food on the night before the game on the road. So I wouldn't care less what Mitch Marner makes as long as he's on my team. Pay him whatever he wants, and let's keep this core together because they're 3 of the best players in the NHL.
All right, lots of deals to be signed this offseason, but as it stands right now, just one NHLer makes more than $12.7 million a year. That's Marner's teammate, Austin Matthews.